Welcome to yoga on a Wednesday evening. As ever, always listen to your body. Every week it may be different, so feel how it feels when you move into all the postures and do what feels right for you. So if you want to rest anytime, you rest. If you know a modification, you can take that modification. And also be aware of what's around you, especially if you don't normally practice in that same space. We're going to start lying down. So find a comfy place on your back. And once you've found that comfy place, just see what noises you hear around you. Lie quietly. Feeling like you're letting the noises come to you. You're not holding on to anything. When the noise is gone, you let it go. They're just sounds. Completely tuning into the sounds. Feel like your sense of hearing has opened up completely, and if there was any noise at any volume and in any direction, you would hear it. Nothing would surprise you. It's a relaxed openness. Change your attention from your sense of hearing to your sense of feeling, the feel of the floor underneath you, the points of contact that you've got, the support that the floor gives you. And then the movement in your body as you breathe. With your attention on your breath, slow it down. Keep it comfortable, but slowly comfortable. Bring your arms by your side. So we're going to move the arms in time with the breath. In that slow, comfortable pace. So it doesn't have to be the same pace the whole time. Just finding what feels right. So next time you take a breath in, reach your arms, both arms at the same time, up towards the ceiling, and then continue them over beyond your head. So at the top of your breath in, your arms are as far back as they're going to go, and as you exhale, they come back down the same way. They land by your sides at the end of your breath out. You continue making breaths with that same movement. And then the next time your arms are beyond your head, let them stay there as you continue breathing. So your arms will be stretched out beyond your head. So your arms don't have to be on the floor. We've all got different flexibility in our shoulders, but can you straighten your elbows? Bring your legs together, straight out along the floor. Push your heels away, pull your toes up towards your face. Stretch your elbows again, and then spread your fingers as wide apart as they'll go. Each finger stretching away, feel the webbing in between. Same with your toes, as wide apart as they'll go. So elbows straight, feel the sides of your waist lengthening as you straighten your elbows. Then relax your hands and your feet, your arms. Bring your arms back down by your sides. And bend your knees, bring your feet onto the mat. Knees onto your chest, hands around your knees. Take a rock side to side. And then place your feet back down on the floor. Roll over to the right side or any side where you've got the space. And make your way up to standing. So you want to stand at the front end of your mat for our salute to the sun. Doesn't matter if that's not facing me. Facing me is good, but if it's not, that's fine. You won't see my head if I face you, so I'm going to stand this way, but I'll turn that way in a moment. So toes pointing forwards, feet a little bit apart or together, whatever suits you, whatever allows you to feel like your legs are strong. And if you imagine the footprint that you'd make, it would be that perfect footprint, heels and the whole width of the balls of your feet. Little pad of each toe. And then lift up as if there's a centre line through your body and you're lifting up. So you zip up through your legs, zip up through the centre of your torso. And your rib cage feels light, but your shoulders can remain heavy. And your chin to be parallel with the floor. So feeling like a bit of a lift up behind the back of your ears. Gently lifting up. Tips of your arm bones, take them back very slightly to broaden the top of your chest. And then reach your arms up. So with straight elbows again. What does straight elbows feel like? Doesn't feel like what we normally do, I don't think, because it's easy to reach your arms up. It's quite hard to straighten your elbows. It's a big effort. Taking your arms a little bit back towards the wall behind as well. And then look up between your hands and reach your arms back a little bit wider as well as you tilt the centre of your chest towards the ceiling. Now your fingers are reaching out for the back corners of the ceiling. Your shoulders relax away from your ears and the centre of your chest lifts closer to the ceiling. Feet still firm, making that same footprint. Then look forwards, reach up. Take a forward fold. So bend your knees as much as you need to. Fingertips on the floor. And relax your shoulders. Relax your head and neck. You're looking between your legs. If your knees go wide apart and you can't bring them in line, take your feet as wide apart as your knees need to be so that then your knees point in the same direction as your toes. And that's your starting position with your feet as well. So we're going to step the right leg all the way back to a lunge. And then lift your chest to look forwards. And step your left foot back to down face dog. Tummy bottom to spine. Hands flat on the floor, heels reaching down to the floor but hips lifting up. Then slide forwards, find a straight line. Plank position, press up position. Gently place your knees down on the floor. Don't let your elbows go any wider than where they are, but smoothly lower your front body down. So thighs onto the floor, tummy onto the floor, chest onto the floor, forehead onto the floor. Roll your shoulders back and then lift your chest. Like a torch is shining out from it. Try and shine it on the wall in front rather than down to the floor. Look back down, push up to hands and knees, tuck your toes under and then lift your hips. Back to down face dog. And we're going to walk through the legs. So one knee bends, the other leg stretches. You're trying to lengthen the back of the straight leg and then change over legs. So go at your own pace, but don't rush it. Make sure you feel the straight leg each time. Anytime you get tired there, normally shoulders really get the tiredest, then you can drop your knees onto the floor if you need to, have a little break anytime, join in again. So then stretch both heels down to the floor, both legs straighten. Take your weight on your left foot, look between your hands, and step your right foot through to a lunge. Step the left foot in line with the right foot, forward fold. As much knee bend as you need. And then to come up safely with your back, a deep bend of both knees, hips down low to the floor. And then straighten your back, lifting your shoulders, straighten your back, maybe even a bit of an arch of your back. Then straighten your legs to come all the way up. Palms together, up through that centre line, and then keep your height as you slide your hands down. Same standing tall position with your footprints. The zip up through the centre, the tips of the arm bones gently pulled back. And then lift your arms. Straighten your elbows. Look up, reach back and wide. Centre of your chest lifts. Look forwards, reach up. Forward fold. So remember, knees pointing in the same direction as your toes. If your feet have to be wider for that to happen, that's fine. Left leg back to a lunge. Right leg back to down face dog. Tummy button to spine. Find your foundation, the bits of you that's touching the floor. Hold them steady and slide forwards to plank again. Keep that foundation secure. Keep your tummy button lifted up towards your spine. And if you're feeling strong, leave your knees lifted and lower down in a straight line. Else, place your knees back down again and just smooth lower all the way down to the floor. Roll your shoulders back. Keep your elbows close by your sides. Lift your chest. Look back down. Push up to hands and knees. Tuck your toes under. Back into down face dog. Tummy button to spine. Take some slow, steady breaths. And just consider what shape is underneath the shape that your body's made. So it should feel like it's a triangle. The floor is one side, front of the legs the other side, and then the front of your hips, a kind of a right angle. Make that angle as sharp as it can be. What action makes it sharp? Weight on your right foot, look between your hands, step your left foot through. Then your right foot follows, forward fold. Deep bend of your knees, hips down low. Keep your legs there, lift your shoulders. And then straighten your legs to come all the way up. Palms together, slide your palms down. I'm going to repeat it with the breath. So every movement takes exactly one breath. It's almost like you don't stop all the way through. Breath in to lift up. Exhale, back bend. Inhale, lift back up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, right leg back to a lunge. Exhale, down face dog. Inhale, plank. Option to drop your knees. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, down face dog. So find that shape, that triangle shape underneath you once again. Angle at the front of the hips, that's your right angle, make it sharp. And the angle at your hands, if you made it shallower, if your wrists came closer to the floor and your arms were closer to the floor, if that angle were more shallow, feel how your shoulders move back and your hips can move back as well. Weight on your left foot, look between your hands, and then breath in as your right foot steps forwards. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale up. Exhale, palms down. Breath here, so breath in. Breath out. Inhale, lift up. Smooth, continuous movements. Exhale, back bend. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, left leg back. Exhale, down face dog. Inhale, plank. Option to drop your knees. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, down face dog. So our final down face dog. Still finding the triangle shape. Grounding down through the floor in order to get that tight angle at the front of your hips. And then sliding your shoulders back, shallowing the angle of your arms and floor. Breathing steadily. Looking good. Weight on your right foot, in between your hands. Breath in, left foot forwards. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, stand up. Palms together at the top, and then exhale, palms slide down. Still as tall as you started, a breath in and a breath out. And then just step your feet a little bit apart, rest your arms by your sides. But stand still, let all those sensations settle. Your body will let them settle. We kind of have this desire to shake and move. So if anything feels like it needs shaking or moving, feel free. We're going to step the feet back together again. We're going to balance. So if you want to, you can step off your mat, especially if you're on a hard floor. It's a good bit easier on a solid floor than on a carpet or on a patio. That's nice. And if you want to have something that you can touch as a bit of support, you can have it either side. We're not going wide today. We're just going to lift up onto tiptoes. So feet together is a little bit harder than feet hip distance apart. So you can choose, you can move as you go. But that same standing up feeling, so 2 even footprints, a zipped up body, but that feeling that you're lifting slightly at the back of the ears. So it's not like you're sticking your chin up. You're not contracting the back of your neck. That feels long. And a broad top chest, like the tips of your arm bones a little bit back, just fractionally back. And imagine that you're about to lift up onto tiptoes. Feel that sort of lightness, that lift that you get inside. Try to keep hold of that feeling even when you've lifted. So you're going to lift your arms first of all, straightening your elbows. Find a point where you can hold your gaze, because that really helps to balance. And then lift your heels up off the floor. So see how high you can lift your heels. And take a breath in here. And as you exhale, keep lifted on your heels, but take your arms wide out to the side. Stretch them out, your elbows are still straight. As you breathe in, you're going to bring your arms back up. And as you exhale, your arms stay up, but your heels come down. We repeat that sequence. So So breath in to lift your heels. Exhale, arms wide, elbows straight. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, just your heels down. Keep stretching your arms. Inhale, lift up. High as you can. Exhale, arms wide. Inhale, lift. Exhale, heels down. We've got one more cycle through. Breath in to lift up. Exhale, arms wide. Stretch them long. Final time. Breath in to lift up. Exhale, heels down, arms down. Step your feet apart again. Just hold there. See how it feels. See how the little feelings sort themselves out. And then we're going to lie down on our backs. So find your way down. Have a few breaths when you get there. While I sort myself out. So stretch your legs out. Stretch your arms out a little way away from you, palm face up. Let your legs feel heavy and your arms feel heavy. Bend your knees, bring your feet onto the mat. We're going to lift into bridge pose, Setu Bandha. So bring your heels nice and close in towards your hips. And have your feet hip distance apart. Maybe very slightly pigeon-toed, toes a little closer than the heels. And with your heels hip width apart, your knees are the same distance apart, and they're going to stay that little bit apart. Arms by your sides, palm face down. So when in a moment we lift our hips, your upper arms and your feet and your shoulders are going to take the weight. But move slowly, you don't have to rush because we're going to be there for a few breaths. Squeeze down with your upper arms, squeeze down with your feet, let your hips feel light, and then squeeze down again, push down firmly, lift your hips. Just see how high they're comfortable to go. See if your feet roll onto the outside edges or do something that's not that equal footprint, and find your equal footprint again. Press down. Feel how your hips have got a bit more lift. You might want to just adjust where your upper arms are, maybe rolling them outwards a little bit, broadening your top chest again. But firmly down through your upper arms, firmly down through your feet. And like when you're in down face dog and you thought about the triangle underneath you, imagine the shape underneath you now. And imagine that you had like a wooden block of that shape and you're going to slide it underneath you. So that's going to keep you lifted in that place. Your arms and your feet are your foundation. Press down some more and lift away from that shape. Lift yourself up away off it. Don't let yourself come back down onto it. It's close, but you're lifted away. Push again, lift. Lovely, one more breath there. And then just take your arms a little wider on the mat. Send your hips smoothly but firmly towards your heels so that your back can roll down. Let your back roll down smoothly, smoothly. Back of the waist lands before your hips. So you can take as long as you want to roll down, but once you have rolled down and landed on the floor, then bring your knees onto your chest. It doesn't have to be yet if it's not there. Take a breath in, and then as you exhale, bring your forehead up towards your knees. So your back gets a stretch in the other direction. You're relaxing your shoulders, squeezing your knees in, tailbone lifting away from the floor as well. Nice curve of the length of your spine. And then gently lower the back of your head back down onto the floor. Keep a hold of your knees, and when your head's landed, have a rock side to side. And then feet back down on the floor. We're going to do a bit of work for our abdominal muscles. So we're going to have a think first of all about the position that we want to be in to work the abdominal muscles. So if you bring both knees onto your chest, you can have your legs together, or you can have them at kind of hip distance apart. I think hip distance apart is more comfortable. But imagine that you had a chair behind at the bottom end of your mat, and you're just going to rest your calves on the seat of that chair. So feel what that would be like. It's like your thighs become vertical, and you've made a right angle with your knees. Feel how your lower back, or the back of the waist, lifts a bit away from the floor. Draw your tummy button down, try to squeeze your back down onto the floor. And if it won't go on the floor, if it won't stay on the floor, bring your knees a little bit closer in towards you. Feel how now it will. So the further away your knees are from your face, the harder it is to keep your lower back on the floor. So that's more tension on your abdominal muscles, which is of course what we're after. But the moment the lower back starts to lift up off the floor, your back's taking the strain rather than the front. So it's all your core, but we want the front to work and not the back. So it's up to you to find that place that is a comfortable stress. So you can hold it down, but it's a little bit of work to hold it down. So remember that place. We're just going to take a little break placing the feet on the floor. That's going to be our leg position. And when we go back in there, we're going to take fingertips to temples and a sort of crunch, I suppose, lift the chest up towards the knees. And we're going to only do 4, but we're going to do them slowly with the breath. So find your leg position once again. Tummy button pulls down. And if your lower back is, or the back of your waist is arching up off the floor and you can't pull it down, bring your knees in closer. And that goes, that's true anytime. Fingertips to temples, elbows are off the floor, and then just pick your head up off the floor, tuck your chin in towards your chest. This is your starting position. Tummy button to spine the whole time. A breath in here, and then as you exhale, lift your chest towards your knees. As you inhale, lower your shoulder blades back down on the floor. Chin stays tucked in. Exhale, lift again. Tummy button to spine. Inhale, lower back down. 2 more to go. Exhale to lift, close as you can. Inhale back down, so knees stay steady. Exhale, final lift. And then inhale back down. Back of the head rests on the floor. Feet come onto the floor. Relax your arms. And we're going to do the same again, but we're going to do it with a twist. So if you're not sure what I mean, it's going to look like this. If you take a look, the legs are going to be the same, the arms are going to be the same, the chin is still tucked in, but it's going to be a lift up, like you're bringing one shoulder to the opposite knee and then coming back, and then the same to the other side. So just one shoulder blade at a time lifts up off the floor. And we're going to do 4 to each side. So if your back doesn't like it, feet on the floor and rest. But anytime you want to bring your knees closer in towards you, that takes the strain off your back as well. So play with what feels right. Tummy button's got to be pulling down. You know, like a sofa cushion has those upholstery buttons on, and they dig down into the cushion of the chair. That's what your tummy button's going to be like, pulling down the whole time. So knees up again, legs up again, right angle with your knees, tummy button to spine, your upholstery cushion, and fingertips to temples, chin to chest. That's our starting position. If you want your knees closer in, then please do. Breath in here. I'm going to go 4 to each side, by the way. Breath in here. As you exhale, you're going to lift and twist to the right. Inhale back down. Exhale to the left. Inhale back down. Chin to chest the whole time though. Exhale, twist to the right. Inhale down. Exhale, twist to the left. Inhale down. We're halfway there. Exhale to the right. Upholstery cushion. Inhale back down. Exhale to the left. Inhale down. One more to each side. Exhale left. Inhale back down. Exhale, final lift to the left. Inhale back down. Back of the head on the floor. Feet on the floor. Arms a little way away from your floor, from your sides, palm face up. Stretch your legs out long, so you get a bit of stretch in your front body as well. Steady breaths, let it just relax. And then bring your legs together. Reach your arms up to the ceiling, to the sky. Interlock your fingers and turn your palms upwards. Then take your arms beyond your head. Try and keep your elbows straight. So it doesn't matter how far they go. Push your heels away. Try to keep a bit of neck length so shoulders don't pull up too high. Push the palms of your hands away from your heels. And then release. Bring your arms back down by your sides. Bend your knees, arms wide out to the side at shoulder height, palm face up, and feet comfortably apart. Then take a very easy twist. So take a breath in here, and as you exhale, just let both knees drop over to the right side. So let gravity take them, let them relax. And then bring your left knee up nearer your right knee and maybe see if they'll both lift a little bit closer up towards your upper arm. But just find a comfortable place, and you want the your left shoulder, the outside edge of your left arm, to stay in contact or close contact to the floor. Anything you can do to let your legs relax a bit more. Maybe you can tuck your chin down and then turn and look over your left arm if that feels comfy on your neck. So there's no effort in this twist. If you can let something go, please do. If you turned your head, look back up at the ceiling. Bring your knees back to the centre, roll onto your back, and once you're there, place your feet on the floor again. Close in towards you, but nice and wide apart. We're going to go over to the other side. So take a breath in, and then as you exhale, just your knees, let's let them drop over to the left side. So you can feel that you roll a bit onto your left hip. And as you bring your right knee onto your left knee, you kind of roll a little bit further over. The right shoulder wants to lift up off the floor, so just play around with what will let it stay there. Maybe you can tuck your knees a little bit more up towards your arms. Maybe that doesn't feel good. And without lifting your chin up to the ceiling, keep it tucked down, but if you want to, turn and look over your right arm. And then relax. Remember that gravity wants to pull everything to the floor, and our muscles don't always want to let that happen. But see if you can let gravity win. Not by force, just by gravity's strength. Look back up at the ceiling if you turned your head. Roll onto your back. Feet on the floor. And then make your way gently up to standing. If you can have the mat long edge facing your screen, that's great, but if you can't, that's fine as well, of course. So if you can do it the same way as me, then do. If not, never mind. Fantastic. Lovely. So we're going to start with second warrior. Feet are wide apart. Give you a moment, Daniel. That's okay. So feet wide apart, hands on hips. Left leg turns in, right leg turns all the way out. So nice and wide with your legs. And make your 2 footprints again. When you make your 2 footprints, make them press even deeper in and feel how the sort of energy comes up your legs. The more energy in your legs, the more light and lifted your upper body can feel. We want to have everything going on in the legs. Take a breath in. As you exhale, slowly bend your right knee out to the right, but keep both legs, both feet pushing into the floor, especially the back foot, the left foot. So have a little look down and make sure that your knee hasn't gone further away from you than your ankle. So I've got my knee over my ankle, or very slightly behind it in fact. Have the same. Round down through both feet. And to turn to the front, to have your sort of the whole of your torso facing forwards, you've really got to be rotating both legs out at the thighs. Feel like that there's a movement that away in both thighs. Then stretch your arms out. Stretch your elbows long, straight. Firm down through your feet. Turn your head over to the right if you want to. If you'd rather look forwards, you can. So your spine is upright, it's going to stay upright. Take a breath in, ground down through your feet. And as you exhale, sink in your hips. Breath in again, ground down through both feet. Exhale, sink your hips. One more breath in. One more breath out. Everything in the legs. Lovely. And then as you breathe in, bring yourself back up. Place your hands on your hips. Turn your feet to the front. Have a little breather there. And then to the other side, right leg in, left leg out. Turn to the front. Ground down through your feet. Take a breath in. As you exhale, bend the left knee. So if you can see yourself in your screen, make sure that your spine stays vertical. Lovely. Adjust if you need to make sure the knee's above the ankle. And then press the right foot back down in the floor. That knee would like to bend. Make it really strong and straight. It's going to hold you steady. Take your arms out wide and look over your left arm if you would like to. Press the right foot down even stronger. Breath in and then exhale. Maybe you can sink a little bit, but your spine stays upright. So breath in. Ground down, legs strong. Exhale, sink. One more breath in. And one more breath out. Then a breath in to come back up. Hands onto your hips. Turn your toes to the front. Lovely. We're going to heel toe the feet or walk your feet to hip distance apart. Keep your hands on your hips. We're going to take a forward fold. So if when you do a forward fold, you know your knees always go wide out to the side, go a bit wider with your feet. Hip distance or a little bit wider. So footprints with your feet, and then take a breath in, long up through the front of your body, and as you exhale, hinge from your hips. So feel that it's your hips that tilt. You're making that angle at the front of your hips again, like we're trying to make the right angle in down face dog. And when your angle won't tighten anymore, take a bend of your knees, and then let your shoulders give to gravity. And your head and neck, let go of your hips. Take a hold of the opposite elbow with each hand. Let everything relax. Check that your footprints are even again. So you're going to stay there hanging. Imagine that there's a loop from the ceiling or from the sky, those of you outside, and you've kind of taken, you've folded forward through it. So that loop is around your hips, around the very bottom of your hips, like really where your hip bones are, even below there. And it's being tightened upwards. So the loop has gone underneath you, but someone's pulling it up. You're not going to straighten your legs anymore, but it's going to pull your hips up. Feel that lift that belt would give you. And draw your tummy button in towards your spine to let your upper body hang looser. So your feet are firm on the ground. As the belt lifts you up, your feet firm down. Take a breath in with that big lift up, and then as you exhale, soften your upper body. Let your upper body just hang as you continue to breathe. And then release your elbows, let your arms dangle. Bend your knees some more, tuck your tailbone under, tuck your chin in, roll yourself back up to standing. Step your feet wide apart again. So this is called Sun Warrior. The left leg turns in, the right leg turns out. Same start as Second Warrior. So hands onto hips. Torso faces the front. Feel your feet grounded firmly down. Take a breath in. Keep grounding down through your feet as you exhale and bend the right knee. So spine stays upright. That's going to be really important. Ease your way down. Have a check of your knee and ankle alignment, and then turn to the front. As you turn to the front, the outside edge of your right thigh needs to be pulling gently back towards the wall behind. The outside of your left thigh, the same, that same outward rotation, so that your torso can be straight forwards, arms out to the side. If you had a wall behind you, you'd feel the whole of your back ribs against the wall. So keep the legs strong, lift your arms straight up. Keep the knee bent, the right knee bent. So your legs aren't going to move, but you're going to really press your feet into the floor. Take a breath in, and then as you exhale, lean over to the left. Lovely. Keep working the legs, because they're not going to move, but they've got to work hard to stay there. Then your right arm stretches even further. Your left arm stretches even further again. Steady breath. Reach out for that side wall. As much curve in your spine as you can. Try not to pull your arms and your head away from, forwards away from the wall behind. Lovely. And then bring yourself back upwards, upright. And then as you exhale, bring your arms by your sides. Straighten your leg. Hands on your hips. Turn your toes to the front. We're going to have a couple of breaths before we do the other side. So right leg in, left leg out, torso to the front, firm down through your feet. So legs are completely strong. You now know why your torso needs to stay upright, because if you lean forwards, we're never going to lean over the other way. So as upright as you can be. Take a breath in, and then as you exhale, bend the left knee. So push into the floor with both feet. Keep your spine vertical. That's it. Everyone's knees look good on the screen, but if you're not sure, take a look down. And then arms wide out to the side. So that outward rotation through both thighs, this away. Straight arms. Strengthen the legs, lift your arms. Don't lift your legs as you lift your arms. Stay with them as they are. Take a breath in. As you exhale, lean to the right. A C curve of your spine. Strong in your legs. Lift up through the left arm. Lift up and back through the right arm. Sink in your legs. Stretch through your waist to your fingertips. Lovely. And then a breath in to come back upright. Exhale, straighten your leg, arms by your sides. Hands on your hips, turn your feet to the front. Couple of breaths. And then again, heel toe or walk your feet towards each other. Have a moment there to rest as well. And then we're going to lie down on our backs. So take a breather on your back. Lie down, find your relaxed Shavasana position. You can make it, in your mind, make it feel that you're just lying there, and it doesn't matter what's gone before. It doesn't matter what's coming. This is all there is. This is everything. This is it. This is what it feels like to be. And then bend your knees. Rock yourself or roll to one side to come up to sitting. Find yourself a block if you have one, or something that you can sit on, so that we can take a twist, a seated twist. So if you find a block, sit well on your block. Don't perch on the front, sit well onto it. And then bend your right knee. Bring your foot over across your left thigh. And then bring your knee over in that direction a little bit as well. So some people naturally find that quite easy. I personally don't. My knee wants to drop out to the side. But the more you bring your knee to the left side, feel how your right foot sits very comfortably on the floor. Like the ball of the big toe doesn't want to lift up like it might sometimes do. So hold your knee in tight and then sit up tall. Your left toes point to the ceiling. So you're just going to hold that knee with your left hand. If you want to, you can wrap your arm around. That's it. And then lift your right arm up to the ceiling. That's an encouragement to sit tall. Keep that height. Take your fingers down onto the floor. Now they're a bit of scaffolding to keep you lifted. Take a breath in here. Ease your knee over to the left side and in towards you. Sit up tall. As you exhale, turn to the right. It's a bit of a twist. So as you breathe in, you lift your spine. As you breathe out, you turn to the right, looking over your right shoulder. So use your breath. The more you draw your knee over to the left, might feel like you can't twist round as far as normal, but that's absolutely fine. That's okay, because no one's measuring how far you go. You're just playing with what your body can do. So as you breathe out, it's like your rib cage twists around. One more breath in tall. One more breath out to turn. And then let your head come back to the front first. Then let your body come around. Stretch out the right leg. Sit tall again. If it needs a bit of a shake, you can give it a shake. Then bend your left knee. Cross it over your right thigh. Draw it right across so that your left foot sits really comfortable on the floor. If you don't bring it so far, you can see how my foot wants to lift off. Bring it across in it, so my foot is just sitting comfortably. So right hand or right arm or right elbow is used to keep your knee there. Right toes point up. Sit as tall as you can. Lift your left arm up to the ceiling. Take a breath in as you really reach up tall. And as you exhale, keep the height but bring the fingertips down onto the floor. There is a little bit of assist. Breath in with that height. So your arms on the floor behind. Left arm on the floor behind, Rosemary. That's it, left arm on the floor behind. Take a breath in to lift tall. And then exhale to turn to the left. So same again, every breath in, lift up tall without letting the knee drop out to the left side. And as you exhale, the back of the left shoulder moves into the space behind it to twist you around. Okay, make sure the base of the left big toe can just sit comfortably on the floor. One more breath in. Final twist as you breathe out. Head comes back to the front and then untwist the rest of your body. Stretch your legs out. Give your legs a shake. I'm going to finish with a forward fold, Paschimottanasana. So from your block, you can move your block if you don't want your block, if you know you don't need to sit on a block. If you stay on the block though, shimmy forwards on it. So as you shimmy forwards, it's like the skin catches. So the skin gets tight here and the skin sort of pads up behind. I don't know really what to say. So shimmy forwards and eventually you feel the back of the block lifting up away from the floor. So it's kind of tilting your hips a little bit over already. Take a bit of bend of your knee. You don't want to, you want to give yourself a good chance of getting a nice angle at the front of your hips. So that's the angle that we're thinking of, this angle here at the front of the hips. Imagine you've got a belt. I'll show you where it would go. So imagine you've got a belt around here, really low, like you did in the forward fold, the standing forward fold. Someone's got a hold of it and they're pulling it back. So they're really pulling back and it's just underneath your hip bones. It's a real low pull back, but you're going to move your rib cage forwards. Oh, and a little bend of your knees is fine as well. So it's like you try and pull that angle at the front of your hips back, or it's pulled back in your imagination, and you can walk your hands forwards as your ribs come forwards. So it doesn't matter how far forwards you come. If you feel like you're not coming anywhere, then take a bit more bend of your knees and then make that fold forward. So that's fine to have your knees even as bent as this is absolutely fine, because we're thinking about this angle here. And if the angle comes easily, then you can stretch your legs out a little bit more. And your head and neck, relax. They're not trying to get close to your knees. It's not a competition of getting your head to your knees. It's just letting them relax, finding the angle at the front of your hips. So as you breathe in, imagine that belt is pulled back and your ribs move forwards. And then as you breathe out, ease off a little bit, so that as you breathe in, you can make that same action again. Slow down your breath, so you don't have to do too many of them. Every breath in, belt pulls back, rib cage moves forwards. Every breath out, ease off a little bit. So 3 more breaths like that. Final breath in, big stretch. Final breath out. And then walk your hands up towards your hips, bring your chin towards your chest, and then build your spine back up again. Slide off your block. Lie yourself down on your back. Stretch your legs out. Take your feet as wide apart as you feel comfortable to take them, whatever feels a nice distance for you. And then arms a little way away from your sides, palm face up. Close your eyes. Make any adjustments to make yourself as comfy as you can possibly be. So real awareness of what it feels like to lie there. And then open your sense of hearing again to any sounds around. That same openness that you had before, knowing that you'd hear anything from any direction, any volume. Even if there are two sounds together, you can hear them both. And it doesn't matter what any of them are. And your attention away from the sounds, back to your body on the floor. And stretch your arms beyond your head. Bring your legs together, push your heels away from you. So make yourself as long along the floor as you can. The more you stretch, feel yourself sort of almost splitting away at the waist. Rib cage moving away from your hips. Point your toes away. And then release the stretch. Let it all relax. Bend your knees, place your feet on the floor. And bring your knees onto your chest. Take a hand on each knee and let your hands guide your knees around in a big circle. Feel how it feels on your lower back. Back the other way. And then place your feet on the floor. So normally we roll to the right side. Make sure you've got room that side. If you'd rather go the other side, then do. Take a roll all the way onto your side. And bring yourself back up to sitting. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me. Hope to see you again soon.